Check out all of these blackberries. Oh man, this is gonna be amazing. If you have blackberries or you're wanting to grow your own blackberries, this is the video for you. Blackberries are so incredibly easy to grow. Of all the plants in our garden, it probably requires the least amount of maintenance. We only have to prune them once and then we leave them alone to keep growing. We're going to review 2 different ways to prune your blackberry plants to get so many delicious blackberries. Plus, we'll give you a bonus tip. Hey, Handyman Dan here with You Can Build This. What the heck happened to our blackberry patch? We are going to tame this beast. Obviously, we have not been around very much this summer and we neglected it. I neglected it, let's be honest. So we're going to review how to prune this blackberry bush so that you will get fruit for next year. These types of blackberries go for 2 years. The first year is when they grow up and out. The second year is when they produce their fruit. This first year is where we have to prune them and make them look nice and tidy so that next year they'll be able to produce fruit. The super nice thing about these types of blackberries is that they are thornless, so you can prune them without having to wear gloves. There are 2 ways to prune a blackberry bush. The first way is where you stake it up vertically. Now, we have always done this method where we cut off the top and keep it at 6 feet tall. But we're also going to show you one other way we haven't tried yet, but I'm really interested to see how it does. But before we show you technique number 1, I've got to clean up this area to get rid of this old blackberry from last year. Looks like some pesky weeds have made their way into our garden. Pesky weed number 2. You can see here, this cane is quite unruly. It was actually going into our neighbor's yard. We're going to top this off. The reason you top off these blackberries is because when these blackberries touch the ground, they will root and they will form a root cluster, which will then send off more canes. That's how they spread if they're left unkept. By topping them off, you make sure that they don't grow out too far. And then we're just gonna look at it and trim to where it's about 1 foot wide on either side. To stake it up is really easy. You just take some twine or string, or you can even use coated metal wire. You just want to tie it loosely against your post. Next year, each of these branches are going to produce fruit, and the weight of the fruit is going to cause it to hang down quite a bit. We keep the blackberry branches 1 foot long so that the weight of the berries next year won't break the branches. This is the cane we just worked on. We've got this cane coming out, and we've got this cane coming out. We only want 1 cane per support. We're going to take these out. Jeez, that was huge. This isn't good. Once the berries touch the ground, it invites bugs. So we're just gonna get rid of anything that is within 18 to 24 inches off of the ground. Don't worry, it's not blood, it's just blackberry juice. Before we get to the second method of pruning, make sure to sign up for our weekly email. You can find a link for this in our description below. In our weekly email, we share lots of tips, tricks, and builds with you to help save you money. So this is the cane that we're going to try the new technique on that we haven't tried before. We're going to try and grow it horizontally. As you can see, this thing is massive, probably 12 feet long. I'm going to put another support over here and run it this way. So we're going to do the same thing where we're going to cut off and leave about 1 foot left on each of these branches. Because we're going to be growing the blackberry cane that way, I really don't want many branches going up. This one isn't going to do the blackberry any favors. Go ahead and cut the whole thing. And I'm going to run some string between the 2 posts, and we'll get the blackberry cane to go as long as it can. I'm hoping that this way will help it give even more fruit, because then it's not limited to the 6 foot height. It's more limited to the distance between the 2 posts I've got.
This is going to be so awesome. We've got an extra 6 feet, so we've got probably 12 feet that we're going to get blackberries on next year.
The way to tell how ripe a blackberry is and if they're ready for picking is by how much pressure you have to take. Pull them off. If it takes a lot of pressure, then they're not ready. This one's almost ready. This one came off so easy. If you pull them off too soon, then they're gonna be really sour. Oh wow, does this feel so much better to have this area cleaned up. So excited for next year because we're gonna have blackberries for days. So which method of pruning do you think is better for blackberries? Pruning them vertically or horizontally? If you want to learn even more about gardening, you can check out our many other videos in our gardening playlist. Thank you so much for watching. Here's to many more blackberries like this. We'll see you on the next one.